Hey there, Chris from Solarproof here again. In this video, I'm just going to go through how to fix an interval data file if you get it from the retailer or distributor and it's not uploading into Solarproof. Chances are they've probably given you something with holes in it or other problems. So I'll talk you through how to fix this one, and hopefully that gives you a good, strong understanding of how to fix virtually any interval data file in the vertical format that you come across. So this is a file I received from a client, and as you can see, it's half hourly. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. And the format looks okay. Now, the first thing that we want to notice is Solarproof has almost no way to identify what is going on here because there's no column headers. So we need to insert a row here and just give it a header name. So as I've mentioned before, Solarproof likes to see the word DateTime to define that column, and just the kWh for kilowatt hours. Now it's going to know how to read this file. The next step is to check if we have all the data we need. So we're going from the 1st of July 2018, and then to the bottom you can see it's the 1st of July 2019. So it's actually one more entry than what we need anyway, because we want to really finish on the last. It's providing an extra hour that's the same as the first entry, but the next year. So we don't need that one. I can go ahead and delete that. And just in case you're wondering, to jump from the top to the bottom, all I'm doing is I'm on a PC and I'm holding down the control key on my keyboard and then pressing down to go all the way to the bottom, or up to go all the way to the top. So that's how we do that. Now, this next bit is a little bit trickier. So what I'm going to do is I want to check if all of the date times are actually there as they say they are, because this file says that they go from the 1st of July to the 30th of June, and that's numbered at 17,469. I want to check if that makes actual sense. So what I'm going to do is just create another column, call it DateTime 2. And you can do this the exact same with me and it should work perfectly. In the first cell there, all I'm going to do is type equals, and then I'm going to do a cross, so left arrow, or you can just click on that cell, that first cell. Oh no, actually, sorry. I've made a mistake. So I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do in the first cell here, underneath DateTime 2, I'm just going to type in the same date that we see in that A2 cell. So I'm going to type 1 in this exact format. So please follow me. 1/ with a /7/18. And then a space, and then instead of 12, I'm going to do 00:00. So that's what it should look like, and then you just press enter, and now we've got our first date time field. Now what I want to do is I want to extend that all the way down to the bottom to compare against this column A. So I'm going to, in this cell underneath the one that I just wrote, this is D3, I'm going to type equals and then up arrow. So equals D2. You can even just type D2, or you can click on the D2 cell. And then I'm going to add some time. So I'm going to say plus time, and then open brackets, 0 hours, because it's half hourly, comma, 30 minutes, and 0 seconds, close brackets. So that's just going to add half an hour to that first cell there. So that's the hardest part of this extension of the date time, at least anyway. So then we get that cell D3 that we've just created our formula in, and then we can just copy it. So if you like, you can right click, copy, or the way I like to do it is just Control C, or I think if you're on a Mac, it's just Apple C. Now I have to get all the way down to the bottom of the date, the range, so I need to go into one of these columns so that it will stop when I press Control and the down key. It stops at the last value. Now I just select the last value in the D column. Now instead of pressing Control and up, I'm going to do Control, Shift, and up. So that is selecting the entire range, including that cell that I just copied. And then all I have to do is paste. So Control V will do the trick. And it's done. So if we go to the bottom, we can see if these two date time values are the same. Now, because they're not the same, that means there is a problem with this data. Whoever provided you with this data didn't want to give you an easy time. So you can thank them. What we have to do now is find where those data holes are. So because it's ending on the 29th of June 2019 at 9:30 p.m, we can see we've got at least one day missing, a little bit more than one day. So the easiest way that I've found to identify where the holes are is I just take this scroll bar, I take it right to the middle and check. Is this cell the same as that cell at halfway? And you can see it almost looks like it is, but it's not. So that one is actually the 2nd of January, this one is the 1st of January. So we've got a day missing somewhere above this. So then the most logical thing to do is to try and get exactly halfway between here and the top to check, are they the same? So 20th of September, yes, they're the same. That means it's between our position here and the center position. So again, we take half of that space and look here, it's the same. So now we take half of that space, we're getting closer to where it is, and we've got a match. So we're nearly there. Let's just have a look here. Nope, it's a little bit further down, so I'm just going to use the page down key. I type it 5 times maybe, see if they're the same. 5 times again, and they're different. So 2 times up, they are different. So we're getting very close. Here they're the same. 25th the same. And you can see something very terrible has happened right here. We're moving from the 25th of December, 1:30 a.m. to the 26th of December, 2 a.m. So that's thanks to your friendly distributor. Now I'm going to take this range and I'm going to Control Shift to select all the way to the bottom and just Shift, take my finger off Control, just holding Shift, one across so that I get the whole range including all the kilowatt hour values. And now I'm going to cut that, so Control X, and I'm just going to press the up key. So if you remember what it was, where we need that data to be rather than where it was actually the 26th of December at 2 a.m. So I go to where that matches, 26th of December, 2 a.m. and I paste it in. So that's where the data should be, but now we have this big hole and we need to fill it with some values. So I'll leave it up to you to decide how you fill those values in. The easiest way to do it is to take your data from 2 a.m. down to the next 2 a.m. Because that's the amount of data that we have missing. We copy that and we just paste it in. So you can see it fit perfectly, and it won't be ridiculous because, you know, we're talking about the same times. So although it won't be 100% accurate anymore, it'll be 99% accurate. So there you have it. Now, if we go all the way to the bottom, you'll see we no longer have our date time here to compare it to. So we need to find the bottom of that, do our copy again, copy that formula, go all the way to the bottom, and then Control Shift up and paste it in so that it goes all the way down. Now we still have a problem. This person really didn't want to make it easy for us. We have the 30th of June 2019 at 11:30 p.m. but it should actually be 9:30 p.m. so we're still missing 2 hours somewhere. Now our last data hole was above this halfway line, so we know it's somewhere in the bottom section. If we go about halfway between the very bottom and the bottom, you can see there's a 2 hour difference. So let's halve it again, and there's still a 2 hour difference. If we halve it again, 2 hour difference. So it's nearly at the same place where we found our first hole in the data. Now I'm just scrolling up with page up until these two match, and this is where they match, 11 p.m. 23. So if I go down one, they're not matching anymore, so it's somewhere here. And I dare say it's probably at midnight, and there it is. So you can see there's 2 hours missing there. It should go from 11:30 p.m. to 6th of January, midnight. We do the same thing, Control Shift down, and then only Shift across, Control X, and then we go down to where it should be, which is this one, 2 a.m. and we paste it in there. Sorry, I hit the wrong key. So there we go. Now we want to fill this data. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little holes there. You can put whatever you want in there. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but we like to try to get it as accurate as possible. So what we'll do is take the next midnight and 1, 2, 3, 4, paste that in. Now if we go down to the bottom, we should see our data is complete. The bottom two date times are matching, 11:30, 11:30. The last thing we have to do is fix this date time column, because we left some holes in here when we were pasting in values. And I mean, the other thing we should notice is actually this date time format is not going to be recognized. Oh, actually, no, sorry, I take that back. It is going to be recognized. There's nothing wrong with that datetime format, but I'm more comfortable with this one that we just entered. So I'm just going to take that whole column, datetime 2, Control X for cut, whole column, and then I'm just going to paste it in into this column, Control V. And then we're just going to rename it as well, get rid of that 2 so that SolidProof definitely won't get confused. And now we have all our values. Everything is from the 1st of July 2018 down to the 30th of June 2019 at half an hour before midnight. That should go into SolidProof perfectly. In case you have any problems with this file, make sure when you're saving it, just save it as a CSV format. And that should give you the easiest experience uploading into SolidProof, and also takes up less space You don't need Excel formatting, because what Excel formatting does is it just keeps all these like borders and font size and colors. If you add that in, CSV will just keep it as the values, and that's what we want, just the values. We want Solarproof to interpret this correctly, and that's what we've done. So I hope you've learned something there. Let me know if you're having any other issues. I think we've covered most of it. If you find holes in your data, if you didn't understand something, give me an email, let me know, or watch this video again. I think it will become clear if you just become a little bit more comfortable with some of the like shortcuts I was using, like Control Down, Control Shift, some of that stuff. So anyway, let me know. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of it.